So I have a vacation coming up for Thanksgiving. Maybe you do too. And I'm already thinking about what I could get done on my vacation. And I'm realizing that that feels pretty backwards. Maybe the vacation is supposed to be time for me to slow down. So if you feel similarly that when you have a vacation or a weekend, you start thinking, what can I get done? Hopefully this video is helpful for you. I'm trying to make it helpful for myself. I wanted to read a couple of passages from, surprise, Walden by Henry David Thoreau, because it's one of my favorite books and it felt appropriate. And I flipped through it and I found just 3 phrases that I felt were really helpful for me for slowing down. And I think they might be helpful for you to slow down. So if you're not familiar with the book Walden, that means you probably haven't seen my earlier videos because I talk about it all the time. But it is a kind of memoir, kind of philosophical work by Henry David Thoreau, and he lived for 2 years by a pond in Boston, and he wanted to live a simple life and see what it was going to do for him. So very fascinating read, one of my top books of the year so far. It is a little bit long and a little bit slow, but in the spirit of the video, it's probably the perfect book. So the first one that I found is on page 117 of my copy, and it says, "Why should we live with such hurry and waste of life? We are determined to be starved before we are hungry. Men say that a stitch in time saves 9, and that's a weird phrase that I'm not super familiar with, but I'm pretty sure it just means doing something ahead of time can save you trouble later. Men say that a stitch in time saves 9, and so they take 1,000 stitches today to save 9 tomorrow." And so my interpretation of that quote and just the way that it helped me out is that is me, somebody who says a stitch in time saves 9, so let me get it all out of the way now so I can have a restful day tomorrow. I wouldn't probably say a stitch in time saves 9 because I was born in a different century, but I would be someone who's trying to get things done ahead of time so I can relax on the weekend. But the problem is I work myself overtime during the week, and then I only save a little bit of time later, and then on the weekend I still start working so I can save time later. And the question is, when am I going to use that saved time? And what am I going to use it for? Why am I working right now? Is it to set me up for something later? And if so, what is that later thing? And then make sure eventually I do that later thing. If I want to work so that I can read a book at the end of the day, make sure I stop working so I can go read a book or something else like that. Okay, another phrase I really liked, and this is a famous phrase, so you may already have heard it. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. I say, let your affairs be as 2 or 3, and not 100 or 1,000. Instead of 1,000,000, count half a dozen, and keep your accounts on your thumbnail. Simplify, simplify. I don't feel like my life is very simple. Maybe you don't too. Maybe you do. But I think it's pretty common nowadays to do 1,000 things, genuinely. To do, as he says, 100 or 1,000, don't do that. Do 2 or 3 things. And I feel like very few of us have the skill to do 2 or 3 things really well. And we do 1,000 things. I definitely do 1,000 things. And that can be really cool. And I'm really grateful for most of those things. But man, oh man, is it a lot to keep track of. So I really like the idea of keep your accounts on your thumbnail. As in, if you can't keep track of it on your thumbnail, then maybe it's too much. My wife is a bookkeeper, so she keeps accounts. She has spreadsheet on spreadsheet on spreadsheet of how things are going. Obviously, those are for a business. They have a lot of things going on. But for myself, I'm not a business. I'm just me. It would be nice to just maybe simplify and reduce a couple things in my life and just be able to track how am I doing with a quick glance. Maybe not on my thumbnail exactly, but on a single piece of paper instead of the 1,000 ways I'm spread thin right now. So here's the third and last one that I wanted to bring up, and it's so short but so good. I almost wanted to open with it, but I'm going to save it for last. And Thoreau's quoting an imaginary preacher right here, and the imaginary preacher is giving a sermon, and he's saying, "Pause, avast. Why so seeming fast, but deadly slow?" And what a great phrase. Why so seeming fast, but deadly slow? Why are you making so much movement, but not really getting anywhere, right? You're overworked. You are moving all the time, nothing's ever stopping, but how much progress on whatever spectrum you want to measure that, how much progress are you making? And that's a question I want to ask myself. Like, when I'm working all the time on my actual work or my individual creative projects or ideas for things and writing and all these things, I'm moving seeming fast. I'm doing a lot, but I'm actually deadly slow because I'm not finishing anything. The phrase that's similar to this that a family member of mine used to say, an uncle of mine, is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I've never forgotten that. It's super cool. It's really helped me this year a lot. To do something fast, you would want to go fast, you would think. But you make mistakes that way. So to do something instead that I want to do fast, what I've been trying to do, maybe not successfully, but trying to do, is to do it slow. And because I do it slow, I may end up doing it smoothly. And because I do it smoothly, I don't get all bent out of shape and I don't make as many mistakes. And so I end up doing it faster than I would if I was rushing, which that's fascinating to me. I've been thinking that from big projects that I'm working on or videos that I'm making, but I've also been thinking about it for, like, this is going to sound dumb, but like making food, like chopping onions. Instead of chopping them as fast as I can, I've been trying to just do it slower. And wouldn't you know it, I drop less onions on the floor when I do it slower. This is kind of, for me, the phrase, again, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. To me, it reminds me of the phrase from from Cars, where Lightning McQueen is told by Doc Hudson, sometimes to turn left, you have to turn right. And, he's all, yeah, okay, that's a great idea. Turn left to go right. What nonsense. It sounds counterintuitive, but then in the movie, obviously, he turns left and he ends up going right. Masterpiece of a film if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the phrase again, I think I've lost it, but pause avast. Why so seeming fast, but deadly slow? Yeah, I don't want to be seeming fast, but deadly slow. I'd like to be seeming slow, but deadly fast. That'd be cool. I look calm, but I'm actually getting a lot done, or even just relaxing in a really great way. So that's it. I was going to tack on some book recommendations at the end of this and say, here's some books you could read if you want to have a relaxing time, but I'll save that for another day. My goal for this coming vacation is not to work on videos or anything like that. So if you don't hear a response from me to a comment on this video, that is because I am trying at least a little bit to step away. I'm going to be reading. I'll let you guys know what I read at some point, maybe in a post. That's it. I've never really done this type of video where I sit down before, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too uncomfortable for you guys to watch. It was a little uncomfortable to make, but have a great week. Have a great weekend. Happy reading, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.